As notable baseball dates go, March is a pretty lonely month, as only a handful of times in baseball history have there been regular season, on-field news before April.But. But there's one place on the March calendar that qualifies as a historic date in MLB history. Not so much for what happened that day, though important things did happen, but for what the day represented. The day, March 31st, 1998. Considered the day's major credentials. It was the day MLB added its two most recent teams. It was the day one team switched leagues. Also consider this. It was the day that kicked off one of the more important and historic seasons in MLB history. By the end of the season, a storied record would be shattered by two players, inviting a slow burn of suspicion that would ultimately expose the ugly steroid era. Meanwhile, the eventual world champions would storm their way through the American League, producing the best team among a dynasty of great teams. And in the National League, another dynasty would reach its peak with extreme dominance at the plate and on the mound. Yes, 1998 was an important year for MLB, and it all started on March 31st. Here's a deeper look back. Major League Baseball grew by two teams in 1998 as the Diamondbacks and Devil Rays joined the NL and AL, respectively, bringing the total number of MLB teams to 30. The Diamondbacks and Rays both lost their inaugural games on March 31st. The D-backs fell to the Rockies 9-2, while the Rays dropped one to the Tigers 11-6. The rest of the season didn't go much better for either team, as is typically the case with expansion teams. Arizona finished 65-97 while Tampa Bay ended up at 63-99. But neither team was totally devoid of talent. Arizona's lineup often included former All-Stars Matt Williams and Devin White, while Tampa Bay's featured Hall of Famer Wade Boggs and All-Star slugger Fred McGriff. To have a proper geographic alignment after the addition of the Diamondbacks and Rays, and to have an even number of teams in each league, the Brewers moved from the AL to the NL for the start of the 1998 season. It was the first time in modern baseball history that a team moved from one league to the other. The only other time that's happened was when the Astros moved to the AL after the 2012 season. The new league Brewers began play in the NL Central, and opened their first season in the senior circuit on March 31st with a 2-1 walk-off loss in Atlanta. Changing leagues didn't help the Brewers' record as the season went on. After a 78-83 finish in 1997, their first NL campaign ended at 74-88. It would be 10 years before the Brewers' first playoff appearances as an NL team. For many, the 1998 baseball season is defined by the race between the Cardinals' Mark McGwire and the Cubs' Sammy Sosa to break Roger Maris's hell record of 61 homers in a season. Coming just 4 years after the 1994 strike ended the season early and canceled the postseason. The chase was a dramatic and appealing spectacle that brought baseball back into the good graces of the disgruntled fans who needed a real reason to come back. Coming into the 1998 season, it had become obvious that Maris's seemingly untouchable record wasn't so untouchable after all. In 1997, McGwire finished with 58 homers, the closest anyone had come to 61 since Maris's 1961 campaign. Right behind McGwire in 1997 was Ken Griffey Jr., who clubbed 56. So it was a big deal when McGwire and Sosa stormed through the summer of '98, smacking home runs at superhuman rates and, eventually, both flying past Maris's record. McGwire's 70 set a new record while Sosa finished with an incredible 66. This was all because of PEDs. For all the entertainment the home run chase brought, it also became one of the quintessential examples of what rampant steroid use did to baseball. All those homers from McGwire and Sosa were really the first strong evidence of baseball's PED problem, though few cared to pursue the topic at the time, or, at least, didn't want to believe it. The moral and ethical aspects of the PED era will probably be debated forever, but that debate will always include talk of 1998, when we watched great things happen, only to later find out that those great things weren't as great as we thought. The historical significance of the 1998 baseball season can't be discussed without talk of the Yankees. The early Joe Torre era Bronx Bombers, led by Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez and a slew of other talent, were a special kind of dynasty, winning 4 World Series titles in 5 seasons. But the 1998 squad was the best of the bunch, and one of the best teams of all time. The '98 Yankees were pretty much as complete a team as can exist in modern baseball. They could out-hit you, out-slug you and out-pitch you. They blitzed through the regular season to the tune of 114 wins, winning a solid AL East by 22 games. They then took their dominating ways to the postseason, where they went 11-2 and finished with a World Series sweep of the Padres. The '98 Yanks were the best overall team baseball has seen in some time, with apologies to the 2001, 116-win Mariners. And, oh yeah, the Yankees' 1998 championship was the first of 3 straight. Just as the Yankees' 1998 squad was the best of its dynasty, the Braves of 1998 also boasted the strongest overall output of their 1991 to 2005 reign of dominance. In nearly any other year, this 106-win Braves team would have been the talk of baseball. Sure, their starting lineup featured 4 players with 30 or more home runs, but what made this team stand out most was, you guessed it, pitching. Anchored by the Big Three Hall of Famers, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine and John Smoltz, the Braves' rotation featured 5 starters who all tallied at least 16 wins. Say what you want about pitcher wins, but it's quite rare for a team's worst pitcher to finish with 16 Ws. One reason for all those Ws was because each starter tended to accumulate innings. Each one averaged better than 6 innings per start, and each had at least 2 complete games for a total of 24. By comparison, the average number of complete games per team in 2017 was 2. The '98 Braves had an MLB leading team ERA of 3.25, an MLB league leading team FIP of 3.53, and an MLB leading 1,232 strikeouts. Added all together, and the dominance across the Atlanta roster made for the best team of an incredible run. With the benefit of hindsight, the legacy of the 1998 season is a mixed bag. It saw baseball grow and regain massive popularity, and it saw some spectacular team and individual performances, but it was also the year when the cracks of scandal began to emerge. Whether one thinks positively or negatively about the season, its importance not just in recent baseball history, but all of baseball history, is undeniable and unlikely to leave the greater baseball conversation anytime soon.